Hello guys, I hope you all are well. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. As promised in the previous or last video, I said I was going to have a session or an episode or whatever it is called on split end, single strand knots and prevention, just to talk around it. So in this video, you're going to be learning about split ends and single strand knots, causes, the types, and also the treatment and the prevention, what you can do to prevent it. I hope you enjoy it. Okay, what are split ends? That's the first question. The hair grows from the scalp, so it's common knowledge that the ends of the hair are the oldest part of the hair, and so this makes them prone to damage, easy damage, because they are probably the weakest link in the hair strand. So split ends are just simply means, as the name implies, when the ends of the hair split into two, a single strand at the ends when it splits into two or more, because there are different types of split ends. That's what split ends are. And you do not want this because this causes damage to the hair, because it just means that the outer layer of the hair is destroyed and damaged, and this can lead to your hair looking frayed, unhealthy, and it makes the hair prone to breakage as well. And this is also one of the reasons why some people might not be seeing some length retention, because if the ends of the hair are split, it makes the hair prone to breakage. Now, causes of split ends. A few causes, you can read more and know other causes, but a few of the things that can cause split ends is dry hair when you're not moisturizing enough. Also, friction. Yeah, friction. For example, using the wrong tools. Example is your towel. When you finish washing your hair and you rub it with this towel that has a lot of fiber, it can cause snagging. So that's why most times it's always recommended that you use um, I can't remember what the towel is called. Anyway, heat as well. When you use a lot of heat, excessive manipulation, these are just a few things that can cause ash chemicals, lack of moisture. Those are a few things that can cause split ends in your hair. And then we have the types. We have the one that is called the Y split. That's just basically when it is split into two, like a Y. Also, the tree split. It's when the hair is split in different places, just a single strand. Then there is the triple split, when instead of two, it's split into three. And I have read and heard that each of these types simply means that they have pointers that the types point to what causes it. Like different things cause each type. But for me, a split end is a split end. If you have a split end, all you need to do is know how to manage the split end. I don't really want to know which one is what. That's my own philosophy. A split end is a split end regardless of the type. Now, quickly, let's go to single strand knot. Also, as the name implies, a single strand knot is when a strand of the hair has wrapped around itself and form a knot. Basically, what this means is that it's easy for the hair to snag on combs, and this causes breakage as well. You do not want the ends of your hair knotting and being knotted around itself, because this also leads to breakage. So that's single strand knot. Now, the treatment for any of this thing is total elimination, which means to trim it off. I think I heard a phrase from one of the natural hair girlies I follow, that you cannot treat out a split end. I don't know if that is the exact way she put it. I don't even remember how it was, but I heard it from somewhere. So the only way to care for split end is to trim it off, because we all heard this saying when we were in primary school. That was when I learned it. A stitch in time saves nine. So if you do not, because what happens is that once you have a split end, just remember, imagine a rope unraveling. So if you don't do anything about it, it keeps unraveling, and so the damage will just keep climbing up the strand, and this will just make your hair continue to break. So the best way to care for a split end is to trim it off. That's it. Now, trimming it as well, you need to be careful, because trimming it, you need to do it with the right tool. And that's why it's always advised that you get hair shears. Don't use the scissors that everybody uses in the house, because it could have become blunt. And if you use blunt scissors, that can also cause another split end. So you have to get your hair shears that are specifically for trimming your hair. And if you can't do it properly, get a professional to do it for you. Or if you want to, I usually trim mine myself actually, But the easiest way to do it is usually when I take down my my twist, I just trim each section. That's the way I do it. But if you can't, get a professional to do it for you. Most people prefer to stretch out the hair, which is actually the best. It's best to do it when your hair is stretched out so you can actually see the split ends. It's easy to identify split ends. For me, I can actually see at the end of my hair, and then you can, when you feel the ends, you feel that they are rough, they're not as smooth as the other part, and also you'll notice that they are frayed looking and brittle as well. And also, you can just simply see when you look closely if you notice split ends. So the best way to take care of split ends is to trim it off. There's no argument about that. Like there's nothing else. Trim it off. You can't treat it. Just trim it off. And now, once you've done that, you want to prevent the reoccurrence of split ends, or at least minimize the occurrence. So one way to do that is to trim regularly. I know it sounds counterproductive. If we want to grow our hair long, why are we trimming it? I've actually had somebody argue that before. But the thing is that let me use the analogy of one bad apple can spoil the entire thing. So if you don't want the other apples to get spoiled, just take out the one that is destroyed or that is spoiled. That's basically the analogy I want to use. So if you know that you want to grow your hair, if length retention is your goal, having a split end is against that because it's going to be causing more breakage. So what you should do is trim off the split end so that your hair can thrive, can flourish, and you will not be losing the ends. So yeah, one of the ways to prevent it is to make sure you trim regularly. Some people recommend trimming monthly, every 3 months. Some recommend monthly. Some say when you feel the need. Do what works best for you. Now, the other way to prevent it is moisture. Make sure your hair is properly moisturized and pay attention to the ends of your hair. I've seen some people who recommend that after you're done with your protective styling, that before don't leave your ends like this. You can wrap it around each other like this. I see some people that do that, but I don't do that. What I do, I usually don't leave my hair like this. I pack my hair and make sure that the ends are hidden. That can also help. Also, use your satin bonnets regularly. That helps you to prevent friction. And don't use, microfiber towel. That's what I was trying to remember earlier. Don't use all this, the normal towel that you use when you're bathing, whichever one is correct. Use a microfiber towel instead, and do not rigorously rub it on your hair gently, or just wrap it around your hair until it sucks or absorbs some of the moisture from your hair. That's another way to prevent it. Friction, use your satin bonnet. That's why we recommend satin bonnet, because it helps to reduce friction and reduces split ends. Then another thing is you should avoid harsh chemicals. If you know you're going to be using dyes, get it done by a professional. There are things that they do if it's a professional, natural hair care person. They have ways that they can prevent your hair, or protect your hair rather, so that chemical will not do too much damage. I wouldn't the use of harsh chemicals, but if you're going to need to use harsh chemicals such as dyes, like you want to dye your hair, change your hair color, ensure that you get it done by a professional who knows what they are doing and who knows how to protect your hair so you will not have a lot of damage. Also, just a pro tip, not a pro tip because I don't use dyes, but I have heard and read somewhere from my research that when you use dye, you should let your hair rest. Don't dye it and braid it immediately because that would be too much stress on the hair. Just something you might want to learn. You can read more about it. Also, heat. If you're going to be using heat, I always advocate for no heat or minimal heat. But if you're going to be using heat on your hair, ensure to use heat protectant. This is to ensure that you don't get heat damage, which could also come in, when just basically when the outer layer, maybe in the next video, I'll talk about the anatomy of the hair. When the outer layer, the cuticle of the hair is destroyed, it can lead to split ends, and you do not want that. The last thing that I will talk about is conditioning your hair. Ensure that you condition as much time. Every single time you shampoo your hair, make sure you condition it. I would recommend deep conditioning every single time you shampoo your hair. Or better still, use herbs, Ayurvedic herbs. I love them. I love them. And I think I'm retaining length since I started using Ayurvedic herbs. So that's all today that I have for you on split ends and single strand knots. Um, Just an update on my hair care. I am on a 3 month. I laugh because I find it difficult to take a single, protective styling for 3 months. But yeah, I'm trying to do a 3 month mini braids challenge. It's my first month. The last two times I have tried it, I couldn't even go up to 2 months. So it's my first month. I am hoping to go to 3 months, and my hair is flourishing. I can't even believe how it's not that looking that unkempt, because moisturizing helps. So you could join me, and you could not, whatever works for you. But please ensure that you do all that it's in your power to keep your hair healthy, because healthy hair is achievable. Thank you for tuning in to me today. Please like, share, and if you have not subscribed, subscribe to my channel. I am begging you. Also, share with your friends. Ciao. See you next time.